Namaste, welcome. I'm very excited to have our beautiful friends Gabriella and Kai here today. And we just chatted about how we met around just over 4 years ago
Yeah,
on a course for inner transformation. It was the
correct.
time when I just came to Bali and really changed my life to become more conscious, to really reflect on what's not working, stressful office hours and a toxic relationship and just constantly being busy. So I choose to come to Bali and I choose to do this course. And I met this beautiful woman. And I really want to give you the opportunity to inspire lots of people because I admire you from what I see in you for how you manage real life, because you have really learned your lessons. You know, we all have our challenges in life. So it's about how conscious do we deal with them, how wonderful we take every challenge to make our life better. And I really see this in you. You have,
Thank you.
ended your marriage with 2 kids,
Yeah,
found your truths, done this in a very conscious way, and then manifested an amazing new partner, brought him
yeah,
into the family,
yeah.
merging him with the kids, and then even now got your own baby, together. So
A lot of
I am
abundance.
inspired. I have goosebumps. I am inspired by people who really are honest with their lives and
Yeah,
use every moment to transform to the better. And I see, when I see you guys, I see just your energy of so much love. It's basically all I feel when I see you guys is love.
yeah,
So yeah, I wanted to really, really speak and share so other people can find some hope and inspiration for whatever
yeah,
challenge they're going through, and maybe breakups, mixed marriages, or just bringing their own relationship in life to the highest possible level.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
please, I'll leave it to you to share.
there is a lot to say about that, and at the same time, I could resume it with few words, and saying that I've always been aware of the possibility of an extraordinary relationship, and I always felt a very deep craving and desire to manifest something special, exceptional, something that lives in integrity and with love, with devotion, with sacredness. And of course, I've been through my life, through marriage, as you said, and I kind of fought to manifest that in my past relationship, but somehow I was not finding myself aligned with the person I was with. So I could have chosen to benefit, to settle, to benefit the settlement of the family, and choose to do it with the excuse I do it for my kids. It would have been easy to stay in a way, but I chose the deepest call of my heart instead. So I managed to come out of that relationship in the most positive, peaceful, and loving way. So without stress for the family, without stress for me, without stress for my now ex-partner, with as less stress as possible for my kids. And I immediately and magically manifested something incredible that 3 years ago, 3 years and a half ago, more or less, came into my life, which is this world that we've been creating from then until now. And has been very unexpected, but at the same time, it's what I always wanted, what I always desired, and I didn't know anything about him. We come from totally different worlds. We have different ages. I'm almost 10 years older than him. I had 2 kids. He didn't have any kids. He was coming from Canada. I was living in Bali. I'm Italian, so different culture and everything. So on paper, we were totally different worlds. But beyond that, so beyond what the mind will have probably judged as that's not okay, that's not a good fit, there was something that was absolutely beyond all of that. So we choose each other through a deeper channel, which is an energetic channel. It's very simple. I mean, we just met in a different level, a different plan of energetic meeting, and nothing from there. Everything just flew in a certain way. We've been growing a lot, and we've been going through different challenges and experiences. He moved from Canada to Bali almost immediately to be with me. He had immediately been he's been immediately into the matrix of my family. So he's been immediately living with my two other kids, two boys, you know. So they were at the time 2.5, I think, and 3.5, something like this. And so we had all the process of integration, also with my ex-husband. Until now, we can happily say that we hung out all together with the kids, with my ex, with his partner, because here the main thing was providing to our young kids the best environment possible to grow, you know, and the best example possible also of uncoupling, you know. It doesn't need to be conflictual, doesn't need to be hard, doesn't need to be stressful, even if it's a divorce, you know. They say there are some studies, they say that the number one stress factor for human beings is divorce. For us, it has not been as stressful as it is for a lot of people. And so one of the message I want to say that it doesn't need to be stressful.
How come? Was this naturally there? Or because you really felt both in your hearts it's the wrong partner and you could accept that? Or why is it different for you?
So, you know, I think the most common mistake is falling into criticism, judging, and blaming. You know, if you stop doing these three things, so you do less instead of more, and you just stay true to the reasons why you've been loving a certain person, you know, and these reasons don't go away. This person is the person you've been loving for, in my case, were like 6 years, 7 years. So I just focus on that and let go of what could have been the blaming factor, you know, that is always present if you want. Or you can say, I take responsibility for what didn't work, and I just choose to walk away from the experience of the romantic relationship, the family, but I don't walk away from the truth that I respect you and I've been loving you and we have two amazing kids, and I don't want to destroy that. I want to respect that. I want to, so that has been basically the key of the success of this transition. I wanted to make him say something about our relationship and how it started, how it was for you. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, when we met, I can only say it was just an explosion. I don't really have another way of thinking about it. It was so intense. The love, the connection, the time we spent together, the first 3 weeks, you know, we met on a retreat out in Sierra Nevada, Spain, near Malaga. I was coming from Canada, she said, and she was coming from Bali. And we spent 3 weeks, I would say, outside of the conditioning. You know, normally I'm thinking of work, and you meet someone, and you're like, okay, I gotta work, I gotta do this. We were completely free to just be available to the moment. And I think it was such a powerful experience to meet like that, that's been the seed that was planted in our relationship. And so that's carried us through all the day-to-day day-to-day problems that people may face, which normally become the main focus of the relationship. You get caught up in the day-to-day because you meet in the day-to-day and you relate through the day-to-day. But us, we met through something else. We met through a freedom from our patterns and our conditioning. We were both just like, I don't know what's going to happen in this retreat. We both weren't looking for anything. We were both feeling amazing in our lives. Like, I had actually separated from a previous marriage about 6 months earlier. I was on in a similar way. I decided I'm gonna open to this experience. You know, I'm gonna love this person out of my life, not in the sense of I'm going to close them out, shut them out. I'm going to expand and let them go from an open heart, from love. And so I was feeling like, you know, if I can leave a relationship like this, which wasn't how I had left relationships previously, but if I can leave a relationship in this way, then what's waiting for me has to be better. If I grew from this process, what's waiting for me, I must attract something better. It can't get worse, you know? So I knew that by walking away in love, expanding, I had to find something better than what I had. And I thought at the time that was it. You know, when you're in your marriage, you think you found the one and everything. And so, but honestly, I'd say the way that you leave the relationship, if it makes you a better person and you've grown, then you have to attract something better. There's no other way. And little did I know, just 6 months later, we met, and something else. I had no experience of prior, a kind of love, a kind of devotion, I moved across the world within 2 or 3 months after meeting her to be with her, left my business, I didn't have anything planned, you know, out here in Bali, you can't get a visa. My work was all in person, and I had to shift to make it digital right away. There was so many obstacles that I could have said, you know what, let's just wait, let's put it on hold. But something was present in us that has always been present, that takes us beyond. It just takes us beyond the obstacles, takes us beyond the challenges, takes us beyond the personal.
Yeah, it's not that we don't have some. We have, but there's something bigger than that. We always
Shows
can.
your potential, that what is it, what we're actually capable of when we really feel that strong pull. We always know what we want, but we let the mind get in the way. So when you really just follow that heart, then how much your life elevates. And now you're very, very happy about all the steps you've taken.
We're very, very rich of what we've been creating.
Yeah.
Very, you know, you really feel you've gained clarity, awareness, and experience that can guide you better through the present. And yeah, we're kind of proud of what we are creating. It's a work in progress, of course, you know, it's not perfect, and sometimes it's very challenging. You know, we have 3 kids that are growing with us, and we have responsibilities every day, and a lot of time we have to dedicate it to them, especially to our baby, because now we have a 8 months baby. So really carving time for us, for our intimacy, is always a challenge, but it's always a challenge that we are available to face. And we're always willing and open to create moments for us in the most creative ways. So it's always possible, you know. A lot of parents, they go through the challenge of how we remain passionate about each other, how we can create time for intimacy, for love making, for hot love making, not just, you know, the routinary love making, but for something that is really bonding, and is a conversation going on about our hearts that speaks some truth, you know, there. And this is our challenge, and this is what we work on with the couples we work with. That's why we created this program called Devotional Love. And devotional because that's the word that better define and describe the dimension that we've been tapping being together, so that we've been creating, so as I mentioned, that is in it as integrity, as alignment, as a certain level of integrity, as I said, a certain level of respect, and what else?
Yeah, I mean,
Of
it's
sacredness, reverence.
just there's a depth and an intimacy and a profundity, and you really feel like everything is on the table to explore. Everything you want to explore with a life in your own life, the relationship becomes a vehicle to explore that through with another person, to have a mirror, to have someone else who will expose the blind spots, but also expand upon all the beauty. And I think that for me, the sacredness, I mean, what we have, I'd say, is so precious. I almost have a difficult time sharing it because it's so precious and so sacred to me that it's like putting our infant baby into some like modeling world and like exposing it to the world.
Yes.
It's like it's so
Yes.
you feel it's so there's
Innocent.
that it's
Precious.
it's something that we touch together. It's not something we went and learned somewhere. It's not something that we read in a book. It's something that was luckily revealed to us.
Yeah.
And so it's very precious and dear to us, this place. But we also know that it's a place that's available for every person.
Yeah.
It's not unique to us, but
Exactly.
it's been experienced profoundly by us. So we know that this is possible, and you can't help but want to give that away because of the profoundness, and we can tell by just seeing the condition of the world and the relationships and the way things look right now. I mean, obviously you have statistics like many marriages are ending right now, 50%, 60% on just on a regular basis pre-pandemic. But now you have pandemic numbers, so who knows where people are at. And I would say that the majority of relationships aren't touching the depth of this kind of love that they could be touching. So it's also that you see the lack of this in the world, and you see the deprivation that people have in loving relationships. You want to give something, you want to contribute, you want to provide, you want to create a community around this. So that's what we've decided, we want to do. We want to create a path for others.
We didn't really decide it. That's what I want to
It's right,
say.
it's true.
We never really decided. We never really had in mind like a pre-concept of I want to do this. I want to do this work. This is my job, or I want to teach people a certain thing. Absolutely not. I was completely. So I come from a past, and him too. Completely different. I was an actress for many years in Italy, and then I've been a mother for some years, so I've been dropping everything. And then I've been doing some coaching with, Avatar, you were mentioning before, and some other stuff like healing. But I knew I was like, okay, life, do what you want of me. I'm available. Just use me. I want to be used by you. I don't want to I was always saying to him, I don't know why. I didn't know if it was right or wrong. I don't feel ambitious. I don't feel the drive of being ambitious. I'm like such in a feminine kind of mood. I'm such in my feminine energy that I wouldn't be penetrated by life to do something, I want to be guided by life to do something, which is a very different experience than decide what you want to do. That's for me at least. And this Devotional Love program, this world doesn't really, but process, path, came just from our embodiment experience, sharing, writing, dreaming, loving, crying, suffering also sometimes, and it's the fruit, is the juice of all of it. and we couldn't but share that with others, you know. So it's just something that came from.
So being a happy and loving family, say one of the secrets is to be devoted to each other.
Yeah.
Right? Can we say it's devotion is equal to unconditional love?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, correct. So
Absolutely,
first
yes.
first key to happy marriage.
You know, I've been writing some like quotes,
Yeah.
and the first I've been writing on my notes is devotion is the portal to unconditional love. This is the first one so it's really
Okay,
interesting
so
to
as
say
long
that.
as I understand what devotion, because most people like ask what devotion means.
Yeah.
What is exactly? So you explained quite a lot. I just try to summarize and you say if it's right or not.
Yeah,
So it's accepting other person the way he is or she is, and fully unconditionally, and surrender to this person to create something higher and bigger together, in love, in respect, in the possibility to grow together, right? So
Yeah.
you remove your narcissistic and egoistic
Yes.
ideas about like I want what I want, and you think about like one family is a big
Yeah.
big organism.
Yeah.
That you actually that means you devote your energy to the
Yeah.
higher
Absolutely,
purpose.
absolutely. The first thing, if I close my eyes and I connect to what devotion is for me, for us, is an inside-out process instead of an outside-in process. So it's a dimension in my heart, in our hearts, that is like completely blending, completely melting away the resistances to love. So it's actually a place that is always there inside of us. It's a possibility that always existed, always will exist, and is the possibility of complete openness with no fear, because fear is the opposite of love and not hatred, as many things. So is this complete letting go and complete surrender in the dimension of love. And what this brings, it brings as a consequence deep respect, deep sense of reverence. Like I serve you from a place of, I don't have anything to lose. I just want to serve you. I just want to serve my baby. I just want to serve, as you serve a baby, even Sadhguru says, even the poop of a baby is beautiful, is sacred. You're happy to change the diaper of your baby and to clean his poop from his bum. The same is about a relationship, there is some shit sometimes that you need to clean. But you can do it, I don't want this, or you can do it, okay, there's some proof, and, I'm just gonna do what's needed.
That's beautiful. So being aware and conscious about how you want to react to this. How you're gonna choose like anger and fear, or you choose love and acceptance, right?
Absolutely.
So this is where we make the
Absolutely.
choice.
Yes, yes. Yes.
For me, when I just close my eyes, the first thing that comes up, same as for you, when I think of the word devotion, just brought me straight into my heart. There's
Exactly.
no confusion.
Yes.
A soft, fluid feeling.
Exactly.
It's a state.
Warm.
So I think when some people hear the
fluid.
word devotion, they maybe think like it's a role, or the woman should do this, or the man should do that. It's not about what you do, it's about that state. Are you doing this with so much sweetness like you want it? Like you can put food on the table. You could be the role like, okay, I'm the housewife, I'm going to make food, but it's not devotion if you resent it, if you actually...
Absolutely.
Maybe I wanted a career, but now I'm a housewife. Then that's not devotion to serve food. You're kind of poisoning the food with your energy, with resentment in it, and with regret in it, or frustration, or it's effortful. But if you're really, really busy and you have a stressful life, but you say like, I really want to cook for my family tonight, and even if it's just the simplest thing, but you wanted to do this from your heart, then I feel that is devotion.
Yeah, and it comes delicious, and you don't know why. Whatever you cook, it comes is delicious. And the same, whatever you do with devotion is sweet and delicious too.
When I think of devotion, Sadhguru has a great quote. He says, "Devotion is an absence of self." And for me, when I look at it, the path of devotional love, what it really means to me is it's a opportunity to lose yourself. It's a spiritual possibility. It's so that instead of getting caught up in my preferences and caught up in my likes and dislikes and what I want and what I don't want and my desires and this and that and how important I am and how significant and insignificant they are and all of this stuff that the personal, the ego or the personal identification brings about in our thinking, it's a way to just go beyond. There's so many processes which deal with specifics of the personal. And so you can get stuck there for years just doing therapy on one memory. Or you can touch a state of devotion and you don't even care. And it doesn't exist anymore because the memory is personal, but there's an impersonal, there's an awareness inside of us which is not bound to time and space, not bound to the experiences we've had. It's beyond. And so that is what we want to touch in a relationship. We want to be able to draw that out of each other. Yeah. We want to be able to draw God out of each other. That's what we mean by devotional love. It's not a process of, I give you what you want this need, you want me to rub your leg like this. It's not this kind of personal building up the person type thing. It's and it's not the destructive, I chop you down type thing. It's the, I love you into nothing. I love you into nothing. We experience this state of nothing. And,
If you don't mind, I have a question from, as a man, right? So masculine energy, man's energy is quite opposite to what we described, right? So man energy is brain force, that's the way I said, and I imagine that, and I go through it, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So what was the main challenges for you, or were there any challenges at all, and how did you manage to balance, this masculine energy, strong energy, and find this love within,
Good question.
What can you share?
Yeah, well, the first thing is getting over myself, which was my desires and ambitions and things that I thought were important, because what I thought was important was predominantly conditioned based on what my parents presented to me and the media presented to me and what other people, and if I think about where most of my drive came from, it was looking at someone who was further than me and then thinking I should go further than them. It wasn't what's the best thing for my life. It's not what's my path. So there's a superficial masculine which is driven by external competition. And so they're striving with ambition to get better than someone, but they're not striving to be themselves. And I think when that started falling away, I was touching moments of devotion through various practices and various experiences, and I just, I was a musician at one point with an album, and I was ready to go on tour, and I looked at the cover, and I just went, wow, that's not who I am. And I dropped everything and I stopped, and I said, I'm not going to do the tour, I'm not going to do anything, and for 7 years I didn't listen to music or pursue music or to do anything. I just meditated because the silence became more important than the sound. And so something else opened up inside of me beyond everything I knew, beyond my path, beyond my career, my future, my this, my that, what my parents saw for me. There's something else that opened up that was authentic, not a world and a life that other people wanted for me, but the life that I was here to live. And once I discovered that, then drive, it wasn't personal. It wasn't like a personal ambition. It was like, there's something inside of me guiding me. So there's something inside of me constantly telling me which way to turn in any given moment. And that led me eventually to this and to this experience of devotion. And now I'm driven and I'm passionate, but not for any particular reason. But because there's something inside of me that is on fire. You know, so the purpose of a goal doesn't really inspire me anymore. Just being alive is what's inspiring, you know? Touching more life.
Yes. Also, if I can, sorry, just briefly about what you ask. We have one of the pillar of our path of devotional love is polarity. So we work a lot with individuals and couples about the balance between masculine energy and feminine energy, which are universal beyond gender, not gender-related energies. So dancing between the two for a man and for a woman is very important. So staying just in one extreme or in another, it's not always what is needed from life, you know. So yeah, I think is one of the work we do is becoming aware of the both energy we have inside of us, are available to us.
Yeah. So how about like you? What was the main challenge and how you decided, like, you know, I'm not pursuing any career anymore, which actually the masculine energy. What was the main trigger for you, you know, to say, wow, I was actually being, you know, being living someone else's dream, something that other people say, you know, like tell you what to do, where to go, what's the life's purpose, and so on and so forth. Have you been able to cultivate this feminine energy?
So I loved acting. It was something I really wanted to do and really loved to do. Then I got pregnant, and one time, and after 11 months, I got pregnant the second time, so very fast. And my second child was born premature at 7 months, and we faced death together. So we were about to die both. From that experience, coming from 2 pregnancy, 2 breastfeeding cycles, etc., and all the difficulties of that, I completely forgot about myself for 2 years, completely. Like I was devoted, but without thinking of it. You know, I just was. That's it. I was completely just serving my 2 kids, completely. Into it for 2 years. When I emerged from that state, when the first time my second son was kind of a little bit more independent, I had a little time for myself to say, hey, who are you?
What is that?
I didn't care anymore about anything before. I was free from, and I was also kind of relieved. You know, I was empty. I didn't have anything anymore about myself. I didn't have an identity. I didn't have likes and dislikes, preferences. I didn't have an ambition. I couldn't find it. At the beginning, it was like, what's wrong with me? I don't feel any drive. I don't feel any ambition. I should have some, because people will tell me, no, but what do you want to do? But you don't want to, you know, you don't have a dream. You don't have, and I was, what's wrong with me? You know, and then I got it. I got it. That's my opportunity. You know, that I'm just empty. I can just be available to life, you know. And so I just ask life, like, do something with me. I'm available, you know. You know, I don't want to decide anymore. I want to explore something that I don't know, something different, you know. I did what I knew. It was good. It was cool. It was whatever. Now what? You know, I want to be completely available to adventure, to the unknown. That's how it happened.
So it's the same thing you described for your relationship as surrendering to each other. So you surrender to life, or as other people say, to God, or to higher consciousness.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right. That's beautiful. So as you said, now you became the mother, and our main topic is motherhood, like the one we
Parents.
parents and motherhood and fatherhood.
Yeah.
Guidance.
So I think you have a couple of interesting things to ask.
Yeah, just I really want to tie what you feel is so liberating, what gives you the most. What you say, you're on fire now. You said you have so much joy in your heart. I mean, what more do you want out of life than whatever happens is. But that's just such a beautiful state, and I think we should take that essence as questioning ourselves, what's our role as parents? We push our kids to, you go to school now, you have good grades, you need to immediately start the best university. We don't give them that space to be. Like you said, you were on a three-week retreat where you don't have to think of something, just 3 weeks. And things started to emerge. Like, we should give our kids this time. We should make that a value to, like, firstly be and feel what lives will bring you, what you really want to do, not searching for it as like. I remember when I went to school, a year before finishing my A-levels, my degree, we were given a month's time to find what we want to become, a job. I didn't know. So they give you time to go a month long, you can pick a company, like, or maybe I want to become a lawyer. Then go in the firm and see if that routine fits you. Or you want to become a doctor. Go 1 month, instead of school, you can go 1 month now to the hospital and learn everything. Like, you have to pick your role. You have to take the suit over your true self. At the age of 16, 17, in a set time frame within school, in your radius of where you live, you have to find a company, something there. It's so limiting. And then you have to always think, as you just said, how to get ahead, how am I, what I just picked, how am I going to be better than anyone else? So that drives us so far away of what we really want, and I feel it stems from a fear of parents, because they think they want the best for them. But actually it's such a lack, it's not the best. The best is to receive love and just be open, and for that you need to create a safe container of no rush, of no fear, of like adventure. Like, there is so much possible, there's so much you could do with your life. And if a lot of people, parents look at, like, I want my kid to be financially stable, needs to survive by itself. But I believe if you do something with true passion that you really love, you're naturally going to be good at it, and something will come back from that.
Of course.
So I think what you just shared, what you learned in your adult life, even through and after divorces, is something we should teach our kids while they're growing up, so they can make that turn way earlier, or there is no turn, they can be maybe directly on the path of the heart, which will always guide them. So I think that's such an important rethinking of parents.
Absolutely key.
Not to think for them what's best, but to just make them trust in life and in God, and fall in love with everything you do.
Yeah.
There's a quote that I heard from John Lennon. I think it was John Lennon, one of the Beatles, could be Paul McCartney, but he was in school. This is a story. He was in school, and his teacher asked him, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He said, "Happy." And he said, "I don't think you understood the question." And then John replied, "I don't think you understand life." And it just really encapsulates kind of what, the traditional approach is. How can we get these individual and very differentiated, unique lives to fit into the mold of society? How can we pour this formless water into the popsicle mold and just produce, these little perfectly shaped units to fit into what we want them to be in their function, right? What do you want to be when you grow up? Go into the doctor's clinic and see if that fits for you. Like, see if you want to become that mold, not what are you molding and shaping into? What can you create that's unique, and how do we nurture that? How do we bring that out? Like, it's just so interesting to see that there's a homogenization rather than an individuation, like a uniqueness that's drawn out and encapsulated and nurtured, rather than how can we get you to fit? How can we get you to be something that will benefit the social structure, not that will bring something unique and relevant to the world that could destroy the structure. And that's really where I can't fault the system in the sense that it provides certain things, but at the same time it also makes a lot of people get lost. We lose a lot of people in it because it's not really a complete, it doesn't nurture the complete person. It just provides a sense of security. And it also provides the illusion that security is something that comes from your finances or something external or something like the right home, or that, like, life doesn't really work the way in which we've been taught. It doesn't work from the outside circumstances, then you'll experience something. It's something's within you that colors and shapes your outside world. You know, so instead, like John McCartney, I want to be happy. John Lennon, sorry. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. And then no matter what I do, there's the fulfillment. And then the other one is, I want to be this so I can be happy.
Yeah.
And the minute you place your happiness in an external thing, doesn't matter what it is, then you've lost your way. You're constantly searching and you never find it.
Yeah, and it's always unfulfillment and anxiety because whatever is outside constantly changes. That's the nature. So if you attach yourself to something there, you're in that constant nervous state because your energy is outside of you. You're not manifesting the energy within.
To me, the ultimate goal is not even happiness, you know. I mean, life has many colors and happiness is one of those colors, one of those flavors. So if you look at life through a neutral perspective, every color is just a color, you know. Each color is just a color, happiness or bliss or orgasmicness or enthusiasm, or there are many, many things that I prefer than just happiness, for example, personally. But anyway, beyond that, joy, you know, and also sometimes in the despair, there is a lot of wisdom that come up, no? And it's not, you know, we evaluate the emotions and feelings like despair and sadness like negative emotions, but they're just a spectrum of what it is, just what it is, no? So if we take away the judgment on it, it's easier. Everything flows easier. You know, we can go through anything really without the resistance of it. Anyway, different but similar to John Lennon.
Yeah.
I was saying when I was a child, I want to be wise. And I didn't even know probably the true meaning of the word, but I was kind of attracted and by in my mind were like old women or in their 50s, not old, but you know, adult, mature women in their 50s that they have this kind of connection. They are like wise. To me, they were wise, and they were like. There was something that was really beautiful about that, and that was just simply that at the time. Of course, now I could explain in a different way, but at the time it was like that. And about the kids that you were saying, what for me we discover is the most important thing to provide for our kids is a joyful environment. That's all they need, and. You know, that's the first thing that they really need because it's like a plant is like a flower. You know, if the earth is earth is the environment. There is some water, there is some sun. The flower just has its course, you know, and just flourish. You don't need to tell the flower how to become, which color, you know. Hey, be more red there and less there, this shape, not the shape, you know. And that's a child, you know. You just give him what he needs, and he's gonna. You just trust. He's gonna become whatever. Yes.
Is this? Am I understanding right? So to provide, you say, joyful environment, first you need to be joyful parents. Because for kids,
Yes.
parents are first is the environment, right? And
Yes.
for you, Kai, for example, what are the main challenges then? You didn't have kids, right? So you became the stepfather. Now you're a father already. But that's going to be the next question. The first question: what are the main challenges for you, where as a stepfather, to find this joyfulness, or where maybe that you didn't have any challenges? So maybe you would be able to share some. Co- yeah, something like how you've been able to go through this experience.
Yeah, I think that my natural, I'd say, orientation to life has been I just throw myself into everything head first, you know. Speaking from a father's perspective, I told Gabriella the other day, she just brought up Ira, my son, and even now I just thinking of him. I said I'm desperately devoted to him. I can't think of another way to be. I would die for him. You know, I've thrown everything I am into him, so I cannot, I can't distinguish my wants, my needs from this life. And I think if you can do this, with everything, even in the situation with being a stepfather, I was just throwing myself into this relationship, and it was, there was no distinction between, oh, this is the relationship, oh, this is my parenting responsibility, oh, this is that, it was not distinguishable. It was just, this is the life, you know? You're here to figure out how to live this life and how to be a part of this life and how to contribute to this life and how to give something to this life. And so, you know, we faced our challenges with the integration, as every family will, with young kids. There will be confusion and jealousy and I don't like you, you're not my daddy, or you're not my mommy, or this or that, because the children have this sense of needing to experience this and get through this sense of, why is this environment changing? But we went through it fully involved, we went through it with love, we went through it with compassion, we went through it with a desire to create something beautiful. And luckily for us, and luckily for me, Gabriella had such a clear intention and vision of how she wanted the picture to go. It was easy for me to understand, you know, I didn't necessarily have a sense of what being a parent was, and I didn't have a sense of what raising children was like, but she was so clear on, look, this is how I would like it to be. You know, I obviously want to be in peace with all parties, and I was committed to peace with all parties too. And somehow we just navigated the challenges, but we maintained a sense of involvement and peace. And I remember even after, I think it was probably 6 or 7 months, Gabriella had to go back to Italy, and I just said, look, I'd love to take care of the boys, leave them with me in Bali, you know, 5 days, and I got to spend this amazing time with them, taking care of them, and it's been, honestly, having that quality time with them was so empowering for me, because when I'm just in the beginning, I'm just kind of a step-in placeholder, you know, like they have parents, and that's how they see it, you know. So being with them as their primary caregiver for those 6 days or 7 days, I was like really starting to get into the groove of like, wow, I'm caring for them, you know, like they're my own, and I take care of them from dressing them to making their food for their lunch to sending them off to school.
I remember this. I remember this video you sent me. I was in Italy. I was checking in with him. How is going there? And he sent me this video. The kids were naked in the pool, and there was techno music, super loud. And they were like, "Hey, mommy, yeah, how is going? All good here. Hey, Kai, come." And they were like in party mode. It was all kind of fine. Like, and they were completely happy. Yes, having playfulness.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties about being a step-parent is you also have like, you have the benefit of being involved, but you also are somewhat somewhat of a friend to them, you know, like you're not mom as well, you're not dad.
Does it
So
also come with less pressure? Because as a parent, you
yeah,
just wants to do it right. But if you're just a friend, you're less attached. You
yeah,
do it more easeful and like
yeah,
more friendly.
exactly, exactly. There's a different dynamic that it provides. You know, honestly, like the mixed family also provides more stability. If you have involved parents, like her ex-partner is extremely involved. I honestly, becoming a father, I admire him so much as a person because of how he shows up for his kids, and so I have a lot of respect for him as a person. And he obviously trusts me to be living with his kids for the week. You know, it's like there has to be a sense of respect and trust to make this work, because if there's not, there's going to be a constant undermining. You know, if you don't respect and trust each other to care for your kids or someone else's kids, then, and if you're not worthy of trust and respect, if you're not conducting yourself in a way that is loving towards the children, then obviously that's going to be a tough situation to bring into a state of harmony and balance and inclusiveness. So yeah, by actually having one-on-one time, this is the most important thing I had. One-on-one time allowed me to develop a relationship just with them, not as mommy's partner.
Yeah, the add-on.
The add-on, the addition to, it's like, no, we're building a relationship together. So I think this is really important, is to be able to spend one-to-one time just alone with the kids.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
Okay,
we
I
asked.
think I'm inspired. I'm gonna go on a solo me retreat now for the weekend. It's some me time.
Exactly.
Bond better.
Yes, it's actually a good idea.
it's
I-
amazing.
But anyway, I asked her because we were thinking, what are you for the kids? And then I said, why we don't ask them? What is Kai for you guys? Is like more a friend? Is like a, a dad? It's like more a dad for us. So that's what they choose, him to be.
Care.
Yes.
That's been an emotional
Second, we
roller
have
coaster.
two dads, they say. We have two dads and one mom, or two moms now, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's something that's been very
Success.
emotional, is the ups and downs of like being accepted as a parent, you know? Because in the beginning, it's like, I don't know how you have your insecurities. I don't know how they see me. And, they have two present parents. I don't know if they even think of me as like a caregiver or provider or whatever it is. But she kept reassuring me, says, look, they don't necessarily say it, but they already see you as a parent. They already see you as a father. And, you came into their life early enough that they're not going to know any different. They're going to see you as a father. And I struggled to understand that. First time step parenting, I struggled to just know that that there's a reciprocation of love, But when they answered the question, I really felt like, there's been a lot of time and energy and man, so much stuff that I wanted to contribute to them. I at one point we went all to Italy together to see their grandparents.
Has
and,
been
like,
his gift. He just came here in Bali to live here, so it was all fresh. And I expressed the desire of my kids and mine to come back to Italy, and he said, you know what, let's go. And it was his gift to our family to go, and we spent 3 weeks there. Yeah, with the kids. It's also a very bonding experience.
Yeah. You know.
As you say, throw yourself in, right? Be totally involved.
Yes, that's definitely
That's the key.
secret, if you want. Thank you for these
Guys,
beautiful
thank you so
questions.
much. Oh, I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I feel increase of energy. I feel so much
Yeah.
love running through me. And
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Your questions were really deep, guys, and really, really, I really appreciate the way you conducted this conversation.
Yeah, we want to offer something real
Yeah,
and something inspiring.
yeah,
Something people can relate to, but actually hold them accountable for, like, there is a different way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.